Hey, Archmage YOLO Cakes here. Today we will be talking about the Dragon Lords. In specific, we will be talking about the powers of the Dragon Lords, and how that influences a dragon's personality. Thus, I believe the best way to start would be with the Argland Council state. 1. Major aspect of the Dragon Lords there, is that they have made vast effort, as to develop their society. A point I believe that one could overlook, had we not had a comparison of the Frost Dragon Lord, and the White Dragon Lord. I could say, that the true Dragon Lords, have a value, to have condensed cities, as a sacrifice, to use wild magic. As wild magic requires souls, I am certain that the true Dragon Lords act differently from the other dragons just for this reason. You see, all great dragons, must recognize that, the older they get, the stronger they will be, and thus all they need to do is, but survive, but when it comes to a Dragon Lord, their mentality is different from the rest. While for a regular dragon, the best place to be safe, would be away from human, and demi-human civilization, as to age and grow in power, as to protect itself from even other dragons. For a Dragon Lord, hiding in plain sight, is where it is safest at. After all, even the youngest dragon, with Dragon Lord blood, can go out in a bang, and harness all of the souls of the area, as to try to survive, and even if they die, they can potentially take you out, you being a godkin, or a dragon of superior power. This all must play into the mind of the Dragon Lords, as well as their fellow dragons. From what we know of the Frost Dragons, there is an endless number of beings, who would hunt them, and that they must strive as to be able to be free, and survive, or else they be hunted by humans, or enslaved by a frost giant. Another thing that would play into the mind of the true Dragon Lords, especially the Platinum Dragon Lord, is that wild magic, has no effect on the user if they have a world item. This a vital piece of information, especially when talking about the Platinum Dragon Lord. We all know that the Platinum Dragon Lord's father, was the Dragon Emperor. I believe that his father had, been at, or close to the level of a world enemy. As, it would make sense, for the Emperor, being a world-level enemy, because he was in charge of all the dragons, of the world. I believe this would only be possible, by him having a immunity, to wild magic, by having grown to his power and level. We know that 8 world enemies, in the game were world-level enemies. I believe this, allows us to get a further insight into, the Platinum Dragon Lord. While many judge him, for not taking direct action, in the world, even though he is so powerful. Many of us do not realize, that just in 200 years, his power has grown vastly, and yet he still realizes that, he is limited to his armor, because he does not possess a world item, that would protect him, in his dragon form, and being considered the strongest of the Argland Council state, he must know not to risk being destroyed or possessed by one of these items, and lead to the destruction of his own nation. As well, the other Dragon Lords hiding in the shadow, can also use wild magic, and perhaps far surpass him in power, and ability, head-on. Thus, using the world-class item armor, he may be weaker, than fighting head-on. His ability to wrest wild magic may make all the difference. I believe, he may be waiting, because he realizes, the older he is, the easier it is for him, to handle, wild magic, as it would make sense he has potential to, achieve a rank, of world enemy over time, or perhaps a level similar to that giving him, world item immunity, and perhaps, by using his body, a complete control of his wild magic, like in the ancient days.